Brethren and friends, good evening. Thank you for joining us once again for another Virtual Masonic Education brought to you by the Rubicon Masonic Society, Ware Lodge of Research, and Lexington Lodge No. It's a pleasure to be with you yet again. This is episode 69 of our series entitled 21st Century Conversations on Freemasonry. For those of you who are returning visitors to our education, as always, we thank you for your appreciate your continued support. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, we hope you enjoyed the education tonight and are willing to come back and join us for another meeting in the future. If you have an interest, you can join and follow our YouTube channel so that way you never miss a monthly episode of our Masonic education. And you can always join us live if you're watching a recorded version by RSVPing at rubiconmasonicsociety.com/RSVP. As I mentioned at the outset, a very special thank you does always go out to the Ware Lodge of Research and Lexington Lodge No. Great brothers in those lodges, and we could not do this without your continued support. Alongside the executive officers of Rubicon, Worshipful Brother John Bizak, Worshipful Brother Dan Kimball, and Worshipful Brother Alan Martin, my name is Brian Evans, and we will now proceed with the business of the evening. Worshipful Brother Dan Kimball, will you please do the honors, my friend, of delivering the opening devotion?
Brothers, join me please in prayer. Great architect of the universe, we give you thanks and praise for your goodness and for all the blessings that you've extended to us. We ask that you bless this virtual assembly this evening. We ask that you would open our minds, open our hearts, help us to understand this great gift of Freemasonry that you've given to us. We ask your blessings on all those who have been involved in this particular webcast, and we ask now that everything that we do this evening would be to your glory and your honor, and we pray this in your holy name. Amen.
So mote it be. Thank you, Worship Brother. Gentlemen, the purpose of our Masonic education aims to help us to become better men, always devoted to our family, our faith, our neighbors, our country. May we all come together this evening to learn, to subdue our passions, to discipline our minds, and to strive to always improve ourselves through the excellent tools of our craft. Any opinions expressed during this education will be those of the presenter or participant. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any lodge or Grand Lodge or the Rubicon Masonic Society. By participating with us, you do consent to our guidelines, and our full disclaimer can be found at rubiconmasonicsociety.com/disclaimer. Just a couple quick pieces of protocol. As you know, these are not tiled meetings. Masons and non-Masons are welcome to attend and participate in discussion, so please always be mindful that anything discussed should always be suitable for Masons of all degrees as well as non-Masons. Gentlemanly manners at all times, no alcohol, no smoking, no eating, no foul language, no discussion of politics or religion. In an effort to best ensure that our meetings do go as smoothly as possible, we do ask that recommended attire is coat and tie. Please type your name and any appropriate Masonic title or location under your video to identify yourself to others with us this evening. If you're not a Mason, please type guest after your name so we do know. Please enable your video camera so that all other attendees can see you. Please reduce background noise, turn off other distracting programs, and as always, please be patient should any technical difficulties occur. Tonight's presenter is Most Worshipful Brother David J. Cameron, and I will now hand it over to Worshipful Brother John Bizak to do the honors of introducing our special guest.
Thank you, brother. Dr. David J. Cameron was initiated into Freemasonry at Grand River Lodge No. 151 in Kitchener-Waterloo in 1991. As junior warden, he brought Masonic education to every meeting by linking the food served to an educational topic. He became Worshipful Master in 2001, was elected to the Board of General Purposes in 2007, and he served as chair of the Masonic Education, Lodge Resources, and Management Committees. Most Worshipful Brother Cameron served as the Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Canada in the province of Ontario from 2019 to 2022, and he is a director with the Masonic Restoration Foundation. Most Worshipful Brother, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Worshipful Master, Brother Director of Ceremonies, brethren and guests. Thank you for asking me to participate in this forum. I've been to it several times, and the topics are always good. And I hope mine lives up to expectations. So I will start by sharing my screen.
Very good. We see your screen.
Good, thank you.
Excellent. All set. Thank you.
The Mysteries of Freemasonry. In the Ontario ritual, in each obligation, we swear never to reveal the secrets or mysteries of Freemasonry. We actually have two rituals in Ontario which we use. The other is an ancient Irish ritual used by only two lodges, one of which I'm a member of. This ritual is very similar to what you use in many American lodges. In it, we promise never to reveal any of the secrets, arts, parts, or points of the hidden mysteries, and not to write, print, etc., anything whereby the secrets of Masonry may be unlawfully obtained. Duncan is very similar, and I suspect your obligation is too. Now, in practical terms, everyone seems obsessed with the secrets. They talk all the time about never revealing the secrets. But what about the mysteries? The mysteries, do we even know what they are? First off, I'm sure what the ritual means by mysteries are not that type of book written by Dan Brown, or even those written by brother Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. The Concise Oxford Dictionary defines a mystery as, among other things, a secret, hidden, or inexplicable matter, obscurity, a religious truth divinely revealed, and the secret religious rites of the ancient Greeks, Romans, etc. It comes from the Latin mysterium, which is related to mystic. A mystic is defined as a person who seeks by contemplation and self-surrender to obtain unity or identity with, or absorption into the deity or the ultimate reality, or who believes in the spiritual apprehension of truths that are beyond the understanding. It derives from the Greek mustes, which means initiated person. That itself comes from muo, which means close the eyes or lips. Audi vide tace is the motto of our Grand Lodge and also of the United Grand Lodge of England. It means listen, see, keep silent. An initiatory system is simply one in which some senior person or persons take a neophyte and teach him. There have been many initiatory systems throughout history. Most have some sort of ceremony the initiate must go through, often involving a trial of fortitude in the face of unknown. Several have multiple ceremonies at each step. Many require secrecy of the candidate. The word secret comes from the Latin for separate or set apart, deriving from cernere, to sift. We usually tell people that the secrets of Freemasonry consist only of means of identifying a brother, signs, grips, words, but the conspiracy theorists know that we hold the treasure of the Templars, the philosopher's stone, and have backdoor access to all world governments. Of course, ordinary Masons may not have been given the key, but the 33rd degree Masons know all. Well, I can tell you as a 33 degree Mason and Grand Master, the only key I was given was one that opens the back door to the Grand Lodge office. But if the point of our secrets is to set us apart, to sift us from the madding crowd, then we should look more closely at our mysteries. Our ritual refers to the Egyptian philosophers and implies that their mysteries included particular tenets and principles, as well as notions of government. Unfortunately, we know little for sure about the Egyptian mystery cults, but we do know more about the Greek ones. Past Grand Master Thomas Hogeboom said in a paper given at Templum Fidelis Lodge that the Pythagorean school was a philosophical school, a religious brotherhood, and a political association. They believed that only by truly understanding the universe could one achieve salvation of the soul. And since divinity created all things, studying it over a period of several lifetimes could bring one closer to divinity itself. Becoming closer to divinity itself. That sounds like the goal of the mystics. Dr. Albert Schweitzer, the Nobel laureate, polymath, who was a famous organist, then became a theologian, and then went to medical school and practiced in Africa, in the Mysticism of St. Paul, describes mysticism in this way. We are always in the presence of mysticism when we find a human being looking upon the division between earthly and super-earthly, temporal and eternal, as transcended, and feeling himself, while still externally amid the earthly and temporal, to belong to the super-earthly and eternal. In the cults of Attis, Osiris, and Mithras, as well as in the Eleusinian mysteries in the later, more profound form, the believer attains by means of an initiation union with the divinity. But when the conception of the universal is reached, and a man reflects upon his relation to the totality of being and to being in itself, the resultant mysticism becomes widened, deepened, and purified. This intellectual mysticism is found among the Brahmins and in Buddha, in Platonism, in Stoicism, in Spinoza, Schopenhauer, and Hegel. And he goes on to say in the Christians, Ignatius, Augustine, Meister Eckhart, and Francis of Assisi. And of course, as you can guess from the title of the book, in St. Paul. The Gnostics were a branch of Christianity in the early centuries of the Common Era that some think may be the precursor to Freemasonry. Some of them had an initiatory system and focused on the search for inner light. There is light within a man of light, and it lights up the whole world, says the Gnostic Gospel of Thomas. There were, in fact, many different Gnostic sects. One that was predominant in Iraq was Mandaism, which was mentioned to you by Most Worshipful Brother John L. Cooper last fall. Their symbol, the drabsha, pictured here, can be translated as banner or as a ray of light. In Aramaic, manda means knowledge, just as gnosis does in Greek. According to the anthropologist E.S. Drower, the Mandaeans hold some fundamental tenets in common with other Gnostic sects. The existence of a supreme entity who created the world, a cult language of symbol and metaphor, a system of initiation, a series of mysteries, that is to say, solemn rites, and great secrecy. They also believe in the importance of leading an ethical and moral lifestyle. Another name for the sect is the Christians of St. John. Is this the wisdom emanating from the East, relating to one of the holy saints John, to which ancient lodges were dedicated? Oh, and they even have a sacred handshake. I wonder if they were the inspiration for Brother Kipling's The Man Who Would Be King. Now we picture mystics as hermits in caves in Ethiopia or sitting on mountaintops in Nepal. But there are more down-to-earth mystics among us. Right Worshipful Brother Walter Leslie Wilmshurst, past Provincial Grand Registrar of the United Grand Lodge of England, believed that Freemasonry was the concealed remnant of the great schools of the mysteries. That although these great schools have long dropped out of the public mind, they, or the doctrine they taught have never ceased to exist. The enmity of official ecclesiasticism and the tendencies of a materialistic and commercial age have caused them to subside into extreme secrecy and concealment. But their initiates have never been absent from the world. And that it was through the activity and foresight of some of these advanced initiatives that our present system of speculative masonry is due. This, the evolution of man into Superman, Nietzsche's Übermensch, was always the purpose of the ancient mysteries, and the real purpose of modern masonry is not the social and charitable purposes to which so much attention is paid, but the expediting of the spiritual evolution of those who aspire to perfect their own nature and transform it into a more godlike quality. The genuine secrets of a master mason are the true knowledge of ourselves and the conscious realization of our divine potentialities. Gnothis seauton, know thyself. Inscribed on the forecourt of the Temple of Apollo at Delphi. A high and ancient goal. On the other hand, the Reverend Neville Barker Cryer, past Grand Chaplain of the United Grand Lodge of England and Bristolian lecturer in 1974, wrote that when we initiate men, they are entering into new levels of relationship with their brethren. With the ancient society, they enter, and the world is in which they still live and work. How that happens is a mystery, but that it happens is a privilege. Ritual is the means by which that takes place. We must not so change and trivialize our ritual that it is merely an odd form of abracadabra. Albert Mackey quotes Dullinger's saying of the mysteries, "The whole was a drama, the prelude to which consisted in purifications, sacrifices, and injunctions with regard to the behavior to be observed." Is mysteries just another name for the morality plays central to our ritual? Are they our mysteries? Bernard Jones writes that the word mystery is a corruption of the French métier, meaning trade. In Saxon times, any work of skill was, in common language, a mystery, and many of the medieval guilds had their own individual mysteries. Right Worshipful Brother Stephen Maisels puts these two ideas together. He points out that the guilds used their mysteries, their special skills, to work their trade. The coopers used their mysteries to make barrels, the tanners to make leather, and the stonemasons to make buildings. Where were you first prepared to be made a mason? Where were you made a mason? Who are fit and proper persons to be made masons? Questions asked of candidates with different answers, but what is the commonality? Men are made masons. We make masons. And how do we do that? By imparting our philosophy through our ceremonies. Is our ritual our mystery? Is that why we keep the ritual secret? Or maybe the mysteries are the alchemical formula that enable the transmutation of lead into gold, or, as most modern alchemists posit, to transform us into better men. Perhaps at one time there were those who knew what the mysteries were and passed that knowledge on. But somewhere along the line, we lost the knowledge of what the mysteries of Freemasonry were. Were the mysteries lost in the 50s when a huge influx of candidates overwhelmed our capacity to adequately mentor them? Or were they lost in the too rapid expansion of the second half of the 19th century? Or during the anti-Masonic days following the Morgan affair? Or the consolidation of the first Grand Lodge in London? Or was it during the construction of King Solomon's Temple? Maybe the allegory of the third degree is correct. The genuine secrets have been lost, and so have the mysteries. It is unclear what the mysteries were or are. We must each search for them. This labor is the lot of man, and that has been the message of Freemasonry right from the beginning. But how can we find them if we don't even know what it is we're looking for? Let me leave you with a story from the website Zen Masonry, which I'm using under fair use, as this is an educational presentation. A past master once addressed a newly raised master mason. Brother, as a master mason, you have thrice been brought to light, and each time encouraged to seek further light, have you not? The new master mason acknowledged these facts. The past master responded, since you have thrice been brought to light, and you are now being set free to seek it beyond the lodge, it seems to follow that you must know something about it. Please share your knowledge with me. The proud master mason said, being brought to light is but an allegory for enlightenment, and each time this ceremony reminds us that the true enlightenment is what we seek. I see, said the past master. So the true enlightenment is your goal? Yes, brother, it is, replied the master mason. What is the true enlightenment? It is the lightning flash transcendence of self, liberation from illusion, and realization of the essential nature of reality. The past master shook his head. My brother, I think you are making up stories. If you have not yet experienced true enlightenment, then how could you possibly know these things? It is said, started the master mason, but the past master interrupted. It is said, it is written, are at best only the recollections of others about their own experiences, and often they are only second or third hand stories that someone else has also made up. From all these stories, you have created a myth that you are trying to act out, believing that if your story is good enough, and if your acting is good enough, then you will create from yourself the truth that you hope exists beyond yourself. Now, do you really think that that is the way to Masonic light? Deflated, the master mason softly said, no, my wise brother, it certainly seems foolish. But without a goal, how will I know what to do or not to do so that I might become enlightened? My brother, do you know more now than you did just 1 minute ago? Well, said the brother, I know that I don't know what I thought I knew. I know that I don't even know what it is that I'm supposed to know. So right now you have transcended some of your self-deceptions and you are free of some of your old illusions. Do you not also feel closer to reality? Yes, but I can't say what that reality is. Then is it not fair to say that you have indeed received more light right here and now? The master mason grinned. Yes, it's clearly true. Okay, replied the past master, but there's one more thing I would like you to think about right now. You are still concerned about what it is you are supposed to know. As long as you believe there is such a thing ahead of you, then you will continue to make up stories for yourself to act out. If you give up such notions, what is left to learn? Nothing, I guess. What? Was there anything about what you just learned that was part of your supposed goal? No, at least not as I had imagined it. But you did learn something. Yes. Oh, yes, I get it. There is always more light to receive, but no particular form of it that we must go searching for. We get the light we need right here and now, if we would only see it. Very nicely said. Now, why does our ritual teach us to travel in foreign countries? Grinned the past master. Thanks again to the website Zen Masonry for that koan, and thank you all for listening.
Thank you very much, Most Worshipful Brother. That's a very enlightening presentation. Let me take the screen back, if you don't mind.
Please do.
Okay.
Oh, there is.
Thank you. So I guess my first question to get the ball rolling is this is a very deep discussion and deep presentation. I think it's underrated on how much I think we should be talking about this a little bit. I'm curious to know what caused you to prepare this presentation. How long has it been on your radar? How long did it take to prepare? I guess what's the backstory to this particular presentation, if there is one, for you personally?
I can't remember. It was several years ago that I wrote it, and it was just a curiosity. As I stated at the beginning, there's all this talk about the secrets, what
Yeah.
the secrets are. We argue back and forth. Is this a secret? Is that a secret? What can we tell other people? What can't we?
Yeah.
But there's no mention of the mysteries.
It's interesting because recently we had someone leave a comment on one of our videos and obviously was a Mason and just went off with the fact that we are completely going against our word and our ritual. And I guess I'm curious to know your thought on that also.
Going against our word in talking publicly about some things in our ritual. Is that what you're
Talking
saying?
about Freemasonry with these presentations, with these educational topics? Exactly. Yes. Very, very adamant, by the way.
Well, in our jurisdiction anyway, the rulings of past grandmasters have been that it is the signs, tokens, and words, especially the words that are never written down, are the only real secrets in Masonry, and everything else is not. Although we do say you may not quote the ritual at length. And I know those are weasel words. What is at length? But that's where it stands in the Grand Lodge of Canada and the province of Ontario. Other jurisdictions, I don't know what's considered.
Okay. Do you think here with these presentations that we are divulging secrets that we shouldn't be?
No.
Okay. I didn't think so. I think I knew the answer. Well, okay. So why are they so important? For two reasons. Why are they important for us as a fraternity, for the members of the fraternity, and why do they cause such a ruckus outside of the fraternity to the profane in your thoughts? And if anyone has questions, brothers, you can raise that virtual
Yeah, and
hand.
I was prepared to say actually, I didn't come here to answer questions, but to pose questions. So I would certainly like to hear what all the
Yeah.
people listening feel about these things.
Yeah, good question. Brothers, this is a time if you have questions, you can raise your virtual hand, you can chime in. You can enter your thoughts in the comment box. Or just speak up when the time feels right.
While we're waiting for that, I will attempt to answer your question a bit. It's here I'm saying it's said, just like the Master Mason. Well, I am a Master Mason. It's said that the importance of keeping the secrets is to show that you can keep your word. Simple as that. But having secrets, having meetings with closed doors, has gotten us into trouble with a lot of people outside of Masonry, especially when we clam up. For many, many years in England, in the UK in general, Masonry was very secretive. In fact, the Irish Masons to this day wear their aprons underneath their buttoned jackets. You can go to a lodge meeting and you can't even tell if some of them are wearing aprons because they're hidden. I've also been in Scotland and wore a windbreaker I had with a big square and compasses on it. And this lady came up to me and said, "Oh, you're very brave to wear that. My husband was a Mason here in Scotland, and they would never dare to wear something like that in public." I think it's great, she said. But, that was the attitude. And then, a decade or so ago, the United Grand Lodge of England decided to open up and be more public. And in fact, they put out a lot of things. The most a recent thing was a thing called "Enough is Enough." But they started to have open houses, to have things on the internet, to be more open. So those are changes. Of course, in America, in the United States, you've always been more open with big signs and things like that than we have in Canada. We've been in between England and the United States.
Sure.
In this, as in many other things. Yeah. So I see some questions here.
Yeah, Brother Chad, go ahead.
Thank you, brothers. Good evening. I think the fascination with secrets as opposed to mysteries is that a secret is tantalizing, it's titillating, it's something that everyone, even since childhood, they love to have a secret or even to share a secret. Mm-hmm. Mysteries require study and effort. A secret can be shared quite easily, and now you know the secret. Now you're in possession of it. A mystery involves study and reflection and reading, and often a great deal of time and effort. And as we well know, no one wants to do any effort. We all want the quick and easy, just tell me the secret, and then I can go on and live my better life. And of course, all of us know that isn't how it works. But I think there's a desperation. I certainly felt this desperation when I first became a Mason, that if I could just get somebody to tell me these secrets, I'd be well ahead of where I am. And obviously, one of the secrets of Masonry is that there aren't any, right? It's a long journey, much like trying to explain the concept of love to a creature that came from somewhere else that doesn't have any experience of love. Even if I told you about it, it would take years for you to understand. And I think that's where the mysteries elude most folks, including Masons, is because they just won't put in the time and effort to discover the beauties of them.
Yeah, very well said. And I think discover is the key word there. It's something you have to discover for yourself. You have to go through the process given to you. It won't work. Brother Dan, go ahead. Good to see you.
Thank you, Brother Brian Evans. Most worshipful Brother Cameron, it's nice to see you again. Whenever I get with a new brother and the issue of secrets come up, I kind of look at it as a progressive and multi-layered process. The first and simplest way is that the secrets are those modes of identification, grips, words, do-guards, and signs that we can use as a first line of defense against people who have been initiated versus those who went out shopping for a ring or a pin or some expose to try to pretend to be a Mason. And that's the easy, quick, and the one that we can talk about with new apprentices and newer brothers who are just beginning to understand this process. But the next layer down, I think, is dealing with secrecy, is making sure that in our conversations with the profane or uninitiated world, that we are not revealing elements of the ritual that will interfere with the nature of the experience should they move in that direction. And I like the way you put it that you can't quote the ritual at length, because there are words and phrases that creep into my everyday language that you could say come straight from ritual because they're powerful, meaningful, and useful. But the third layer, which is, I think, maybe transitioning from secret into mystery, those personal lessons that speak to you from the ritual and impact the way you live your daily life. And if you look at that as a secret, or more expansively as a mystery, then what that means is what I value and what I learn and what I need from my Masonic experience and the ritual and my understanding of this craft is unique to me. So my secrets are different than anybody else's secrets. And I can tell you from being 68 years old and a Mason of 48 years, the secrets that I extracted from my usefulness in my 20s are a lot different than the secrets I now extract from my use in my 60s. So I think if you look at it as multiple layers of secrets or as a continuum from secret, something simple, clear, and understandable, to mystery, something that is meaningful, passionate, requires effort and exploration, that you can see that transition from generic to personal, from superficial to powerfully in depth and personal, and in many ways transformative.
Brother Cameron, any comments?
Oh, I agree. It made me think that we have started to have a lot of open houses to bring people in and show them that we're here and give them a smattering of what it's about. And there have been some people that some Masons that say, even doing that decreases the effectiveness of a brother's initiation. Just coming into the room before and looking around, seeing what it looks like before his initiation makes it less impressive, maybe. I know that I had never been in the room before my initiation, and I mean many Masons have expressed similar situations. You first get to see in the room, you see all these people that are there, people that you know, and that's an impressive thing. Of course, at the open house, those people are not there, so that's not there. But you see the room, you see the symbols all over for the first time at your initiation. Well, that's a debate that people have, is whether we should have that or not. So, point is taken.
Yeah, it's like being a child and opening up a gift you're not supposed to before Christmas Day, wrapping it back up, and then trying to act surprised the morning of, and you realize you just ruined it. Brother Richard, go ahead.
Good evening. How you doing? I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm petitioning to join my lodge of Opus Magnum 815.
Okay.
I think for me, not being a Mason and wanting to be a Mason, I think that places like this give the opportunity to even want to be one or want to become one. And I'm very appreciative of outlets like this. I've been recently studying the Kabbalah, and one of the things I've learned is true wisdom comes through attainment, and you can't attain something without experiencing it. Being a former baseball player myself, I would really despise when people would talk to me about hitting, a fastball, had never seen 95, and I always thought that was interesting. And with what you guys are talking about right now, giving away a mystery, you're not giving away a mystery unless you are experiencing the mystery. I don't think a lot of people truly understand that for you to attain true knowledge of something, you have to experience it. That means living it, reading it, breathing it, and speaking about it. As we all know, if you're going to teach something to someone, then you have to learn on a whole nother level, and that's true attainment as far as understanding the mysteries that we're talking about right now. And I want to say to those people that have been giving you guys flack for the program that you've put together, and all of this, coming together, I think they're way off base with that. And I just want to say I'm appreciative of being able to be a part of something like this. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Richard. Where are you from again? Did you say?
Right outside Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay. And what
Grand Lodge.
lodge are you petitioning?
Opus Magnum.
Opus Magnum. Okay.
Yeah, 815, yeah.
How long have you been visiting that lodge?
Uh, since the fall, I've gone to about like 4 or 5 dinners now.
Okay.
Um, I had my interview. I did my lecture on my and wrote a paper on, why I wanted to be a Mason. It
Great.
went over very well. I just signed a petition, paid my dues, and then I'll be having the inquiry at my house soon. Uh,
Good.
I've been involved in the esoteric as far as personal study, and the traditional Martinist order, and the ancient mystic order of the Rosary Cross. And I love the relations that Mason, you can always find Masonry in everything. I think it's always the first book I picked up was The Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall. And I just went from there. I have everything from him. I got Morals and Dogma right over here. I have a nice, I want to say probably, I paid a good penny for this one. It was from like the early 1900s. But I'm a book nerd. I have behind me, I have a whole library underneath my bed, all behind the laptop right here.
Mhm.
Um, but I always found that there was always a Masonic um, foundation to all of it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And for me, that's why I wanted to get involved, because as much as I love the other ones, you always have your first love, right? And that's, Masonry is what got me involved. And that's why I look forward to being one.
Well, good. Well, thank you for joining us. When I used to give tours about our lodge and meet with the new prospects that came in, I always said a few things to them. I said, first and foremost, number one, masonry is hard work. So if you're not ready to work hard on yourself mentally, it may not be for you, and that's okay. It's not for everyone. Number two, we don't have any special powers or secrets or any abilities that are going to get us out of speeding tickets or anything else you may think of or heard on TV in the news and in the History Channel. And I try to bring them back down to reality a little bit because, listen, we're trying to figure out more about ourselves. So if you're here for any other reason, it's the wrong reason. But yeah, it's good to have you, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts maybe next time after you.
Oh, I'll be here. I'll be back. I've been waiting for this Monday. So
Good,
I'll be back. So
good.
thank you.
You bet. Good to have you. David Daughtery.
Thank you very much. I want to first apologize for not having my camera on. As many of you know, I'm from Grand Lodge of Ohio, but I'm currently in the hills of West Virginia, and I don't have a camera available.
No
That's a
problem.
statement on my computer. That's a statement on my computer here, not the state of West Virginia. But most worshipful Brother Cameron, thank you for starting the conversation on this. I think the discussion on mysteries and secrecy and so forth is one that we often have, but don't really know what to do with or where to go. And one that I've been thinking about a fair amount just lately, coincidentally. And I think one of the challenges that we often have in any of our discussions is a failure to define our terms, right? It is difficult to have a conversation unless everybody's using the same terminology. And I think that's one of the challenges when it comes to mystery and secrecy. So I appreciate that you did put some definitions in there. For myself, the way I've been thinking about this is that secrets are things that we know, but choose not to communicate. And mysteries are things that we do not know, therefore we cannot communicate.
Oh.
And from that standpoint, the mysteries that we think about in Masonry are not anything that has been lost. It's that we haven't found them yet. And this is where I think, at least for myself, where the mystery and secrecy comes into play, is that what is a secret to you may be a mystery to me because I haven't done the legwork and this research to figure it out yet. And I think as we do the work, and I appreciate the phrase you used is that we make Masons by imparting our philosophy. And I do believe that our ritual is an important part of that philosophy, but it is definitely not just the ritual. There's far more to our philosophy than our ritual. So as we as Masons do the work and we learn the answers to what are currently our mysteries, we then have to make the decision of whether we're going to keep that a secret from other Masons, because, as I think a couple of the other brothers have mentioned, you got to put the time in, you got to put the effort in, you got to go through that process of discovery. If the answers are just given to you, they don't mean that much. So sometimes, even though we may have figured out the mysteries for ourselves or feel that we have to keep them secret in order to allow someone else that opportunity to do it on their own. And so, although the secrets of tokens and words and so forth are important, sometimes the secrets that we keep are actually necessary to help those other men become better. Again, I apologize. I don't have a question, but those are my thoughts.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Wonderful thoughts. I might have to rewrite my talk.
And, you know, in regarding secrets, if we go back to operative masonry, you know, they needed to have their secrets so that way they could find employment and know who to trust. As speculative masons, it's a little bit different, but I think the origination of that probably has a very large part of this discussion. Roy, go ahead. Are you a
Good
mason?
evening, brethren. Right worshipful brother Roy Oldfield.
Okay.
Most worshipful brother Cameron. Interesting and thoughtful talk. Thank you very much. My only comment is that secrets are tangible items that we know and can convey to each other, whereas mysteries are not tangible items, but ideas and thought processes that we are learning about through Masonry.
David, any comments?
No, wonderful. This is what I want to bring up.
Well,
People's ideas, make
yeah.
you think about things.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Roy. Donald?
You're welcome.
Thank you, most worshipful brother. I very much enjoyed your presentation this evening. I agree with your previous statements that what we're doing here this evening is not should not be considered secret, and it's actually a service because you're allowing brethren and non-brethren to come together who are interested in learning more about themselves, the world they live in, and other mysteries. But most importantly, they can do it in an environment where, you know, there's no real judgment. Everyone shares their opinions, and that I think is the purpose. I was having a conversation with Masons at a lodge meeting this past weekend, and the topic of why join a lodge came up. Secrets, not really, because within 5 minutes, if you do a Google search, you can probably find all of the grips, all of the words of all of the degrees, probably of the appendant bodies as well. So this is out there. So there's really no secrets there. I think having the concept of secrets, that we made the statement that it's a way of testing your fidelity, that you can keep your word, I think is more important, because you'll have conversations with brothers who will share information with you, and they need to know that that information will stay between you and it's not going to be shared with others. So it's a test, so to speak. But what's important about the mysteries is you can read about it in books. You can learn about it through other means. But what the lodge allows you to do is share your viewpoints with other brethren who are like-minded. And by this exercise, you'll broaden your perspectives. So concepts that you may not have thought of, although you've read about the particular topic for many, many years, you can have a new viewpoint that's presented to you. It gives you a chance to completely rethink of the way you thought of that particular topic. This you can't really do on your own reading a book. You need that type of exchange of ideas. And I think I remember reading about Mozart, who was a Mason. And the reason he joined a lodge was so that he can have these types of philosophical discussions with other like-minded um, men without having a fear of being persecuted. So I think that's really the core principle of a lodge. We make masons, but it's not just the fact of making masons. We doesn't stop there. We have to educate them
Mhm.
and make sure that they leave better than they entered. Because going through a ceremony doesn't necessarily make you a mason. It's the effort you put in through the years of study, the years of exchanging ideas with other like-minded brethren who perhaps have more experience in the craft than you do. That's what's going to shape you, mold you, and help you become a better person and have a better understanding of yourself and the world around. That's just my viewpoint.
Thank you, Don. Um, and that's one of the values of a format like this. I find in our lodges, although we're busy making masons, um, uh, uh, we don't actually have much philosophical discussion. And getting back to one of your earlier questions, Brian, yeah, that was behind writing this, is to bring out some philosophical points and get the brethren thinking about and discussing that. One thing about a forum as successful as this is we have people from various jurisdictions here. And I wonder if there's any differences that people come up with because of their ritual or because of their language. And Don, I believe you're in Quebec. Yes.
Yes,
So in the French-speaking lodges, I don't know whether you speak French or not. I assume
I
you do.
do.
Um, is there anything about mystery that comes across when the ritual is in French? Comes across
Actually,
differently.
the French ritual is very rich in esoteric teachings, much more so than the emulation rite that we follow on the English side.
Yes.
And it comes a lot from the historical masonry in France that's brought over. So we have many different rites in Quebec, probably more rites than most jurisdictions have. Um, but the French rites are the ones that are much more steep in the mystery teachings. And I love attending those lodges for that purpose. Even just the ritual, in their ritual elements, they'll introduce um, practices, and I don't want to give anything away here, but the circumambulations have certain elements of it that actually bring about you know thoughts in terms of what are some of the challenges that we face going through life, and what's the underlying meaning of those challenges. Except, so it really introduces quite a bit to contemplate even when you're just witnessing it. So you can imagine if you're the candidate going through it and you're experiencing it firsthand. But yes, they're very rich in esoteric teachings.
Yeah. Well said. Worship Brother Bizak, did you have a comment or two to add on?
I do. Most worshipful. Thank you for a very thought-provoking presentation tonight. I just want to add something to the comment Dan Rinko made about layers. The secrets, as we identify them here, as having purpose, of course. One of the reasons is that keeping it secret, those things that we identify as secret, as we're obligated to do, is a ongoing exercise, a calisthenics, as it were, of promise keeping. And that builds the glue of trust, character, and integrity, and as Brother Carducci said, fidelity. And we teach that in our classes, that's one of the purposes. And we should remain in constant exercise of promise keeping. And a strong reminder there is that we have obligated ourselves to do that. And we can be measured by that.
Yeah. Thank you, John. Mario, you look like you're in a cave. Are you all right?
Well, I am, yes.
Okay.
It's just I have a little setting because I have a little one going to sleep, so
Okay. I will we'll try not to.
you're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
Thank you, Brother Ryan.
Go ahead.
Brother Cameron, thank you very much for your presentation. It's always great to hear from, you know, different perspectives. I love that. That is why I'm probably always attending conversations because um the way I see it, secrets are important as long as you can keep them, because if not, it's no longer a secret. But mysteries, at least in our sense, or the way I see it, mysteries are always growing because it really depends on what can you come up with as a person for your own betterment and use that idea through a tool or a teaching. And I'm always happy to hear from different brothers or friends and what does X thing means for them. uh, it just gives me another perspective, a fresh viewpoint, and I think I enjoy that. The aspect of the mysteries is that you can always have another layer put upon whatever thing you were thinking. So it's for me, it's just great, and the opportunity to have friends and brothers, very dear friends, who come and just they want to give you the information they have and they share it with you. I think that is part of understanding how you can become really a brother and how you can be very attached to different opinions at the same time, even if they're antagonistic to yours. It's just wonderful being able to talk and not having it go down the drain or just regretting starting a conversation. I think that's part of the mystery, right? That in the end you will learn how to be more tolerant, and you will learn how to take ideas and what's useful for you and take it in your bag of memories and just use it. I really appreciate that. I actually, the worshipful master right now in my lodge, he and I always want to talk to him because he always have a different opinion from mine, and I always want to hear his, because he is such a great guy and he always will bring something different to the table, and I enjoy that. And I think that's the great aspect of mysteries, that sometimes people are looking for, I don't know, maybe something supernatural, and it doesn't have to be like that. I am one that thinks Einstein was right when he said there's only two ways to see life, and one is there are no miracles, and the other one is everything is a miracle. So if you can find a miracle, we will find a mystery in every person, and it will be great just to have their company. So thank you very much for opening this spot, and I do appreciate everyone who's here, who's at least you hear me talk for a while and you don't shut me down, so that feels great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mario. Good to see you. Where's Brother Cameron? Any thoughts on that?
Well, I agree with that as well. I mean, it's great to hear the different opinions that have come out and on this topic, and I hope that we have more discussions on that. I thank you and all the other brethren who have commented positively on this, both here and in the chat. I thought Dan Hrinko has he's typed but not said it. Says we formed Arts and Sciences Lodge for the primary purpose of holding philosophical discussions as our primary form of education. We have such discussions in every meeting. We see this as the duty of the lodge to truly make Masons through educations. That's wonderful.
Brother Donald, you said anybody can go online and find the answers or find the secrets. Right. There's nothing a secret anymore. So it's almost like if I said, here's the checklist, go fly this plane. Well, I could give you this checklist, and there could be 121 things on that checklist that I have to go through before I can fly this plane. But what it is very different than how it's done and why it's done. So we can give everybody these what answers and these what it is things, but it's not going to matter. And unless you truly discover why we do it and how we do it, That's the beauty of Freemasonry. So it really doesn't matter what people think is a secret or not, whether, in my opinion, aside from keeping your word, of course, until they discover for themselves how and why. That's the beauty of Masonry.
I have a book which I cherish, which was given to me by someone who was against the Masons, and it has prayers in it to get out of your obligations for each of the degrees and appendant bodies. And when I'm going to an appendant body that I haven't been to in a while, I use that book to look up what the password is to get in.
Right. Yeah, well, good. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. They tell me to push the toggle switch, but I don't know why or how to push the toggle switch to fly this plane. Exactly.
True confessions of the Grand Master.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Brothers, any final comments to put our most worst brother David Cameron on the spot while we have him? All right. Well, listen, most worst, we appreciate your time. Very thoughtful presentation. Always a lot to leave behind and think about. Chad has a question. What's the title of that book?
The one by what's this? Let's forget his name. Schweitzer, Albert Schweitzer. That book.
No, brother, I was referring to that interesting book about
that interesting
the
book. That was
prayers that'll
published
get
by
you
a
out of your
small
obligation.
religious sect in this area. I don't know. I don't remember the title of it.
Oh,
I don't think it's widely published. It's sort of, it's not bound or anything.
And who was distributing that? Was it a particular religious group?
Yes.
Can you share which one?
I don't remember.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
Very good. Any other final comments, brothers? David, any other comments from you, David?
Well, no, thank you very much. It's been fun. It's been good discussion. I'm glad to get things going, and I hope that you continue to, in your own lodges, go back, bring up discussions, talk about uncomfortable things. It's good for you.
Very good. Most worshipful, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Brothers, we'll move right along with just a little bit of business before we proceed to close for the evening. Please mark your calendars that our next Masonic education will be the fourth Monday in April, which is the 28th. And Worship Brother Bizak, will you please give a brief overview of what to expect during that meeting?
Sure. Brother Carducci from Canada is going to be our next speaker. He's from Harmony Lodge 94 in Quebec, and his topic is Freemasonry relevant in the 21st century? And I'm sure that will lead to some lengthy discussion. In May, we have Tim Avon, who's a member of Lexington Lodge 1 and Rubicon. He's going to give an overview presentation of a wonderful paper he recently submitted on thoughts on W.L. Wilmshurst and the meaning of Masonry. So we hope y'all will join us for those.
Great. Excellent. Thank you. Brother Donald, look forward to it. We'll see you next month.
What was the second thing that you said, Worshipful John?
Tim Avon is presenting thoughts on W.L. Wilmshurst. That's based on a paper he just submitted to the Ware Lodge of Research.
And could I hear one more time the talk of Brother Donald's talk? And I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to hearing from you, Brother Donald. We've had some interesting conversations together at MRF get together. So,
yes, sir.
His topic, Jeriel, is Freemasonry still relevant in the 21st century?
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Brothers, whip out your credit cards because we need your help. And this is going for a great cause. Ware Lodge of Research has put together an online raffle and it's only $50 a ticket. And you could buy this beautiful Kentucky long rifle. You could win possibly this beautiful Kentucky long rifle. You visit WOWraffle.org. All proceeds of the raffle go to the William Ware Lodge of Research to continue to support education like this, to help us behind the scenes make sure that everything is working, that we have the resources we need to continue to provide Masonic education to those that are interested in it. You can buy as one ticket or 100 tickets, as many as you want. Everything is digital. We greatly would appreciate your support. And if you do win this Kentucky Long Rifle, you will be absolutely stunned how beautiful this is. Incredibly beautiful. Visit WOWraffle.org. All the details are there. And we, again, appreciate your support. Additionally, we have the Festa board coming up for 2025, and we'd like to encourage you to go ahead and RSVP sooner than later. The theme of the Festa board and conference, the conference is being led by William Ware Lodge of Research this year, and co-sponsored by Rubicon, Lexington Lodge No. 1, and many others. So William Ware is taking the lead this year. The theme is exploring the role of Masonic research lodges in the 21st century. The Festa board is Friday, September 19th, and the conference is Saturday, September 20th, 2025, all in Lexington, Kentucky, all at Spindletop Hall in Lexington, is where you've seen a lot of our beautiful events held. You can visit RubiconMasonicSociety.com/conference 2025 for all the details and any questions you may have about travel arrangements, etc., pricings of tickets. But we very much look forward to seeing you. The seats are filling, and we do have a cap on this. So we would strongly encourage you to be sure to get your seats now. Worship Brother Bizak, Master of William Ware Lodge of Research this year. You want to add anything else about this event?
I'd only echo what you're suggesting, Brian, that if you're planning to come, please make your reservation early. Spindletop has a cap on the seating, and we have to adhere to it.
If you have not been to one of our festive boards, you can learn about what we have done in the past by watching the documentary The Masonic Table, which is on Amazon Prime for purchase or rent, very affordable. Then the conference, this will be our third conference this year, specifically focusing on Masonic research lodges in the 21st century. So again, look forward to having you all join us very much. Let's see here. Yes, the craftsman.org. Our very own Worship Brother John Bizak has put together this beautiful website with tremendous amount of Masonic knowledge and information on many, many papers, books, resources, tools. And we strongly encourage you to check that out if you're looking for other alternative additional resources about Freemasonry. Please go to thecraftsman.org. And then another resource, of course, is one of our partners, the Philalethes Society, which is the oldest independent Masonic research body established in 1928. John, do you want to add anything about them as well?
Sure. It was founded in 1820 or 1928, as you mentioned, and it started to serve the needs of those who were seeking some deeper insight into the history and the rituals and symbols of Masonry. It publishes a quarterly edition of its journal, Research and Letters, and I'll post more about that or just a link in the chat box after this announcement. I think if you want to learn more about it, follow that link, look at the website, and if you have questions, please get in touch with me.
Very, very affordable piece of education. Strongly recommend it. And also, we have available for purchase at Rubicon is the Transactions of 2022, Volume 1. We have an additional volume in the works. And again, all of the proceeds and everything that we are doing here does not go into my pocket, although it probably should. It goes into the pocket of William Ware Lodge of Research and the Rubicon Masonic Society. I'm kidding. And honestly, it does help to do everything that we are doing here, to put on these events, to provide education. I see David smirking at me. So please go check that out, RubiconMasonicSociety.com/transactions. Another great resource to put on your library, on your shelf. Brothers, that's
just
about
put in
it.
he just put in a new pool. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, true. Yeah. So let's go back to that raffle. See this raffle, guys. We need you to buy
Yeah.
raffle tickets and sign up for their festive board. All right, gentlemen, it's been a great evening. Are there any other final comments before we proceed to depart? All right, hearing none. Worship Brother Dan, would you please deliver a closing devotion?
Brothers, join me in prayer. Great architect of the universe, we give you thanks for the blessing that we've enjoyed this evening of being able to meet together in unity of purpose and seriousness of purpose. Help us to apply the lessons of Freemasonry to our daily lives, that the temples on which we labor may be worthy of your glory and worthy of your spirit. We pray all this in your holy name. Amen.
Promoted be. Brother Dan, you said it right. Applying Freemasonry to our everyday lives is hard work. It's very hard to do. So, Richard, good luck to you in your journey. Look forward to hearing more about it. Stick with it, and we're here for you if you need any assistance. Brothers, thank
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Brothers, the fourth Monday of each month is our virtual meetings. Our next meeting is April 28th. I believe I said 28th before. It's the 24th, excuse me, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You can RSVP at rubiconmasonicSociety.com/RSVP if you're not already on our list. If you're on our list, then don't worry about it. Brothers, may we always be happy to meet, sorry to part, and happy to meet again. I leave you with this beautiful piece, which you all know, by Beethoven. Have a great evening.